Hello, Mustang football fans, and welcome to another edition of the Cory Sauter Show here at Studio One in Marshall Local Cable Access. I'm your host, Kelly Loft, Athletic Communications Director at Southwest Minnesota State University, and we're going to talk Mustang football. Another Mustang football victory, a thriller this past Saturday at the Regional Event Center. SMSU winning 38-37. We'll take a look at the highlights from the ball game, recap it, and then look ahead to this week's big game on the road at Winona State University. And joining us on the show, as always, is the head coach, Cory Sauter, and the Mustangs still reveling in that victory. A great win on Saturday night for the Mustangs, coach. A game that you knew would be probably an offensive display by both teams, because Upper Iowa has a very good offense. They showed that, and your offense obviously playing very well this year. And whoever had the ball last probably was going to win, and that's pretty much what happened on Saturday night with that 1-point win.
Well, I think we talked about last week in the show that this is the types of ball games we've had against Upper Iowa. I mean, 4 out of the last 5 years, it's come down to the last possession, and we've been very fortunate to be on the winning side of those, and it was just a huge victory for us. Our guys were very excited, obviously, after the game, and a great tribute to the late Ben Bundy, who we dedicated the game to, and having their family up at the ball game as well.
And, of course, rebounding after the week prior's game where you lost to Minnesota State Mankato in double overtime. And you've been playing pretty good football as of late, beating Wayne State, nearly beating Mankato. And it was important to carry that over. And did you see any side effects from that game against Mankato, or did the guys stay focused and ready to play right away?
Well, we got off to a slow start, that's for sure. And I think part of it was just the emotional component going in the ball game. We wanted to play well, for a greater cause. And sometimes that backfires on you a little bit. And we did get out to a slow start, 12-0 right from the get-go, and we finally responded. We finally put a drive together to get on the board, and then from that point we were able to kind of get things moving a little bit. But I thought all in all, I really didn't sense any panic. I didn't sense any any doubt with our players. And I really thought that they were going to play a complete ball game. We didn't play our best ball game of the year, but we did enough at critical times to win it. And obviously the last drive, which we'll get to, was just a great moment for this program to be able to win that. It would have been tough to overcome 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back weeks of heartbreak losses. That would be hard to overcome, and I'm just so glad we were able to find a way and win the ball game.
And before we get into the game more, let's talk about what you did before the game. Obviously, Ben Bundy, a student athlete that passed away in 2010, a football player, would have been a senior, 5th-year senior this year. You guys honored him before the game. His family was there from South Dakota and able to present them a plaque. And we've had him on the roster since he's passed away in the last 3 years, and just an amazing night to have that. And as Tyler mentioned in the post game, I think we had an extra lineman there, number 76, blocking, and you've got an amazing stat that you found out as well, watching film afterwards.
Well, it is an amazing stat. When you look at the official stats, I believe it had 75 plays, but when we ran, after looking at the film, there was actually 76 offensive snaps that were taken, that we executed, and obviously that was the same number as Ben Bundy, and it kind of gives you goosebumps, gives you chills when you look at that, and just the way we won, and it was almost one of those situations where you just felt like things have got to happen, because everything else was just falling into place, and it was just a miracle of a night for our players, and just one that I know everyone's going to remember, especially those who knew Ben and played with Ben and were friends and teammates with him over the years. It means a lot to them, and then obviously the Bundy family, for them to be at the game and to experience it and to talk with our players after the game. I mean, I think it was just all in all one of those great stories in college football.
Yeah, of course, the Mustangs get the victory 38-37 over Upper Iowa, a game very similar to the 2011 matchup. Teams went back and forth. I think there was 8 lead changes in the game in 2011, and the Mustangs scored late and then got an interception by Durante Smith to end that game in 2011. And this year, same thing, a touchdown late in the game by Tyler Prashon with 25 seconds to go, and then Durante Smith intercepts the Peacock quarterback to seal the victory, 38-37 for the Mustangs. And one thing, Coach, you mentioned falling behind 12-0, but one thing that you guys didn't deviate from, and that was running the football. Had another solid game rushing Warren Matthews and Gannon Moore, and it's a great two-headed monster. And a lot of teams have just one running back, and you put their numbers together, these two, they'd be one of the top running backs in the conference. And these guys are really giving it to you both sides. Quick and powerful running, and both are just doing a great job.
Well, a lot of teams would love to have one really good running back, and we do have the luxury of having two, and sometimes that can be a distraction with some teams. The nice thing is we've found a way to be able to utilize both of them and utilize their strengths, and sometimes we'll have one on the field, sometimes we'll have both on the field. They expel each other, at times going on and off the field, so we get fresh reps during the game. And they're tough to stop. I mean, they run hard. They each have their own style, and to prepare against two good running backs is tough to do. And guys up front have been getting the job done as well. And that offensive line now has been playing for almost 2 years straight, and it's starting to really show their abilities. And we're looking forward to continuing that. To be in a position where we can be a two-dimensional team. The ability to throw and run is going to be critical for us to be successful as we push forward.
Well, one thing that's been impressive the last month or so has been your offensive output. Despite having injuries, basically in the ball game on Saturday, SMSU without 4 offensive starters and a couple of wideouts and offensive line, but guys stepped up, and wide receiver Adam Olson gets his career high in receptions with 5, and on the offensive line Austin Nichols fills in and still able to move the football, and that's a credit to not only to the players, but to having that depth that you and your coaching staff have established here the last few years.
Well, it's always a good sign when there isn't any glaring plays in the game where you can pinpoint it to a certain guy that hasn't been performing, and the guys that came in and played did a phenomenal job. I mean, they held their own. Austin Nichols came in and played the game of his life, and it was just good to see, because you just never know when someone's going to get hurt, whether it's from week to week or within a series or within a drive. You just never know. So it's good to see that guys have been paying attention over the course of the year, even though they're not getting all the playing time and the reps. They're dedicating themselves during the practice week and getting the mental reps and physical reps when they can, and it's just good to finally get things rolling, so to speak, and find a way to win a ball game.
On the special team side of things, another backup, so to speak, and the place kicking duties was Lance Schuweiler, but so far this year he's had some huge kicks and a career-long 49-yarder, nearly a 50-yard field goal, and that's a huge kick late in the game. He gives the Mustangs a lead. You did give up the lead, but in all, those 3 points were the difference in the football game, and just great to see so many different guys, despite some injuries, continue to make plays. And in the special teams, the last kickoff, Tyler Tondrum gets down there, another guy stepping up and makes a huge tackle, and that pretty much solidified the victory after that tackle.
Well, it was. I mean, to be able to get them pinned inside the 20 like that, I mean, because they could have easily returned one out to the 40 or 35, and that changes things, because all they need is a field goal, and that is one of the key plays of the ball game, along with Lance's field goal. Looking back at it, I mean, that essentially allowed us to win it at the end. So you just never know what play is going to be the play, and that's why you've got to play every single one like it's going to matter, and they all do. I mean, they all matter, and if you're on that field, you've got to find a way to get the job done, and our guys have taken that team approach and have played at a high level now for several weeks, and we've got to make sure that we finish the season strong. The schedule doesn't get any easier, and so we want to make sure we finish what we started and do a nice job with it.
Yeah, some of the individual statistics from the ball game. SMSU running back Warren Matthews, 108 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Gannon Moore with 40 yards and a touchdown, and Tyler Prashon ran for 37 yards and a touchdown. So you look at the rushing attack, 185, 4 touchdowns on the ground. Receiving-wise, Gannon Moore, 6 catches, 58 yards, and Adam Olson, 5 catches, 44 yards for SMSU. On the defensive side of things, a nice night again for Deshaun Miller. He had 9 tackles. A.J. Page had 9, and Tate Bunkers with 9. And the positive thing, Coach, those are all players that are going to be back, and they're a couple of new players in there, Page and Miller, and that just shows you the difference at Blake Pennick with 7 tackles. There's 3 guys that didn't play last year, and how important it is just to bring in guys that can play, and when they do, they can come in and step in and play right away.
Right, and I think it's important to have a good mix. I don't think it's a good thing to have all seniors. It's not good to have all freshmen. That could be a long, long season. But when you've got a mix of guys that have played before, along with guys that are just new, I think that can be a good combination. Just youthfulness along with experience can be a nice combination, but it is refreshing knowing that we do have some guys that are going to be here for a while, that have watched our leaders, watched our older guys, and have learned from them, and want to carry the things that they've attained from those really good players, and so that's just encouraging for us as we move down the road. By no means are we even thinking about 2013. I mean, we have so much in front of us here in 2012. We have an opportunity to do some great things here these last 3 ball games.
Yeah, of course, the Mustangs get that victory 38-37 over the Peacocks. Mustangs now 3-5 in the conference and 2-2 in the South Division, and the Peacocks dropped to 2-6 in the conference and winless in division play. Let's take a look at the highlights from the Regional Event Center. A beautiful night at the stadium, and the Mustangs and Peacocks starting off here in the first quarter. And we start off with defense, and senior Ben Peterson coming off the line untouched for a tackle for loss.
Yeah, Ben, one of our seniors, a guy that just plays with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and you can see him there making that play, critical play in the ball game.
Here's a big tackle for loss for the Mustangs, forcing up inside, and several Mustangs making the play very difficult here for the Peacocks.
Right, and Upper Iowa's got a great offense. I mean, they do a lot of different things. They're a very dynamic offense, and they're tough to prepare for, especially with their up-tempo type of system that they run.
That was redshirt freshman Sam Gall helping out there to force the runner back inside. And Mustangs now go on offense, and here's a 13-yard gain. Big run for Tyler Pershong, showing off his ability to run with the football.
Yeah, and he hasn't been 100% all year. This is one of those plays where everything's covered down the field. It wasn't a design run, and it takes off, and we're fortunate to get the first down. But that was a 3rd and 12, and that allows you to stay on the football field.
Here's Adam Olson with the catch on the hitch pass and breaks the tackle, and yards after the catch. Huge play.
One of the most fundamental passes in football is just a hitch to the flat, and this is all it is. And he just takes it, does a nice job of reverse pivoting back to the outside, and gets us 17-yard gain off a simple 6-yard throw.
Again, we talked about blocking downfield by our wide receivers, and here's a great example on this pass to Warren Matthews by Wickett and Dean blocking downfield.
Yep, whether it's a run or pass, receivers really take pride in doing their job, and it's more than just how many catches do they have in the ball game. You can see they're the ones that really create most of that play, and then Warren's there to make it final.
And going into the second quarter, Mustangs trailing 12-0. They cap off this nice drive at 68 yards, 9 plays with a Gannon Moore great cutback touchdown.
Yep, it's good to see Gannon back in the end zone again and continuing his great career that he's had here at Southwest. But very tough back to bring down, and really didn't have to work too hard to get that touchdown.
That made the score 12-7. The defense now making a big stop here. Bobowitz and Schulmeyer for a stop on 3rd down, forcing a field goal.
Yep, and just good to see our defensive line playing aggressive, playing solid, and then obviously Bobo there to help up clean up the 3rd down situation.
One of the biggest plays of the game. A good call by the official, but a 41-yard pass, kind of a jump ball, and Dean comes down with it, and simultaneous, I guess, and they give it to the Mustangs.
Right. No, we didn't throw too many deep balls this game, but this was one of them. A deep post over the top, good coverage, but they're both going up for the ball. In the end, Dean wrestles for it and makes the reception.
So a big big play for the Mustangs, and they would finish it off as Warren Matthews runs a 17-yard touchdown up the middle.
Now, we've had a good year as far as running the football in the red zone. I mean, we've had a lot of these 10, 15, 20-yard runs when we get down the red zone. That's much different than we've had in the past. A lot of times we're throwing for touchdown passes. This is much easier way to do it.
Extra point makes it 15-14. Mustangs trail by a point. And the defense here comes up with a couple of big stops, Ben Peterson and then Joe Stupka.
Yep, you can see Ben Peterson here, a guy that really has emerged here late in the season and is playing well. And it's good to see those seniors having some great memories of their last couple games.
You mentioned here's a pass breakup by Joe Stupka on a 3rd and long situation, forcing the Peacocks to punt.
Yep. Anytime you can get off the field, I'm a happy guy. And we did struggle on 3rd downs, but you got to give them credit. They're pretty good offense, and to make a play like that is critical in the overall scheme.
And then Mustangs get back on offense, trailing by a point, but Warren Matthews, a great run, just a special player here, and some of the plays we take for granted, but these are some incredible moves.
Right. I mean, normally a play like this, you're going to get maybe 7, 8 yards. You're going to get tackled there. He bounces it outside, and just great vision, great shiftiness, and we're going to miss a guy like him, that's for sure.
And then just the way you drew it up, a pass, Pashon to Dean, and makes it interesting, but he hangs on to the football.
Yeah, this is actually the second time we ran it. We missed it the first time in the game, and we ran it the second time through, and gave Tyler Pashon an opportunity to redeem himself, and we ended up scoring the touchdown. But this is just fun to see, being able to get in the end zone when you're in the red zone.
So the Mustangs take a 21-15 halftime lead. The Peacocks score early in the 3rd quarter following a Mustang punt. It's 22-21 Upper Iowa, and the Mustangs, though, come back the other way in a swing pass to Gannon Moore. Great blocking by Wickett and Olson.
Yeah, and it's very similar to some of the other plays early in the ball game. This is just a simple swing screen to our running back, and Tyler puts it on the money. We get great blocking, and we get to the perimeter, and we get some nice yardage off of it.
And again, Moore leading the team with receptions in that game in this contest with 6. Here's Matthews capping off the drive. Mustangs take the lead, 3-yard touchdown.
Yep, we haven't really had to throw too many balls on the goal line, and the big key is being able to get holes like that. When you can do that, when you can create a crease, Warren's able to see those things and be able to get it in.
Mustangs finished that drive. They ran it 12 times in the drive of the 13 plays. Here's a big tackle by Donovan Woods. Fights off the cut block, and a big stop for no gain on the screen.
Yeah. And Donovan's playing really well this season, and you can see it's more than just pass coverage. It's about tackling, and that's what our secondary is expected to do, and does a nice job with that one.
Mustangs lead 28-22 after 3 quarters of play. Peacocks score a touchdown and make it 29-28 in the 4th quarter. And here's another screen again, and Moore picks up 13 yards. Driving down trying for another score.
Right, and this is a mirror image of the previous clip that we watched before with Gannon, and we're just flipping it out to him and letting him go do his thing. Good blocks on the perimeter. That's how you draw it up.
And the drive would stall, but Lance Schuweiler, 49-yard field goal, he drilled it.
Well, there's no doubt about it when we called this play, but it's. He's been kicking well. He's been getting the ball up in the air. He's got a strong leg, and we had a slight wind behind us, and he had the confidence to do it, and we gave him the nod, and he went ahead and made a critical play in the game.
Yeah, 31-29, Mustangs take the lead. Upper Iowa comes back and scores, picking up some big plays. Then the Mustangs get the ball back with just under 5 minutes to go, and a big 3rd down conversion, Pashon to Wickett for 4 to keep that drive alive.
Yeah, this is one of those drives where we're just getting 5 yards of crack, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. Nothing big. We're controlling the clock and securing the football.
And there's a 3rd and 2 situation. Great block by Gannon Moore. Pashon keeps that drive alive with another 3rd down. Again, this is a drive that 75 yards needed to get for a touchdown to take the lead, and this is a 1st down. And here's the touchdown, Coach. 4th and 8 or 4th and 3 at the 7-yard line. You need to pick up at least 3, and you got that and a little bit more.
Yep, we just wanted to get the 1st down. That was the most important thing, but to actually get it in the end zone, it wasn't anything that I expected. You can see our sideline is going berserk. But you can see blocking up front, we get about 2-3 of their guys on their back, just well blocked up front, and just sheer determination and willpower to get it in. And what a way to end the ball game offensively, and just a great way for us to put ourselves in position to win.
And now in just the final seconds, Hail Mary attempt for the Peacocks, and Durante Smith gets the interception.
Yep, same guys last year with Durante, and yeah, that was such a great feeling once that ball was finally secured and in our possession. But this game literally took every second of the ball game, and as a fan, you love those things. You love high-scoring ball games, you love points, you love winning and all that. But I know as coaches and players, it does take a toll on you. That's for sure. But to come out on the winning end was very gratifying, and to do it for a great cause was even a bonus.
One thing that really was noticeable in that last drive, really nobody panicked. You had the 3 timeouts, which just shows how critical those are to keep in your back pocket. I mean, even with the minute and a half to go at about the 20-yard line, you taking your time because you knew you had the timeouts, but really just a workmanlike effort there on that final drive, and everybody just seemed calm, and even down to the 4th down play, and rewarded with the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, no, it was critical for us to have those timeouts because we did have to use some because we didn't get the looks that we anticipated or the looks that we wanted to get. So instead of trying to risk it and trying to run a play that may or may not work, we wanted to make sure we called the timeout, readjust a little bit, and get ourselves in a better position. They definitely were thinking we were going to throw in that last play of the ball game. There's no question. And even talking with their guys, it sounded the same way. And very, very excited that we did have that quarterback draw called, and ultimately it worked out for us.
It worked out, and the Mustangs get the victory. Another exciting win over the Peacocks from Upper Iowa. So the Mustangs now 3 games left to go in this season. Our last road game coming up this Saturday, 4:30 kickoff at Winona State University, a team that's coming off a very tough loss to Minnesota State Mankato at home last Saturday, 30-20. But coach, this team very good. They're 6-2. They still have playoff aspirations right now. They're the 7th-ranked team in the region in the first region rankings that came out this past Monday. So a huge game and a great opportunity for, again, the Mustangs to go on the road, just kind of that us versus everybody mentality, and to go to face a team and win somewhere that hasn't been done since the early 1990s.
Well, they're a great team. I mean, the 2 losses they've had this year, Mankato and Duluth, so they haven't lost to anybody, possibly they shouldn't have. But when you look at, the other games that they played, they've had a lot of close ball games, a lot of close wins, 3-point wins, 1-point win, 4-point win, I think, in there. So they've been finding ways to win ball games down the stretch, and that's just a sign of a very resilient team, a team that is very confident. They know how to win. They've done it in the past. They've got a great history, and we've got a huge task at hand, and very few people are going to be picking the Mustangs here this weekend, but our whole goal is getting our players to believe that we've got a shot, and just like we did at Mankato. I mean, I thought we were very well prepared. Our guys believed it, and we play the game of our life, and we need to have that type of effort because they've got the all-time leading rusher in the Northern Sun, and he's just a difference maker running back that can score at any point. And so we're going to have a huge challenge. Our guys are going to have to make something happen. We're going to have to create some turnovers, and that's something that we really didn't do this past week is get as many turnovers as I'd like. But that's the name of the ball game, and we haven't turned the ball over now for several weeks, and I don't even want to talk about it that much because I don't want to jinx it. But we've been very good there, and we've created turnovers defensively, and we're in that +4 range now. And geez, I mean, it's been such a long time since we've been like that, and that wins ball games. And so when you look at the grand scheme of things, 5-3 really, it could be a mark that we would be at right now, playing to be at the same record almost as you know, a Winona. So we're not that far off. I mean, especially with the guys that we have playing this year, we've got a lot of upperclassmen that have a lot of game experience and have put us in position to win ball games. We've got to have everybody rise to the occasion and play lights out. And if we do that, you know, who knows what will happen.
Yeah, of course. Some of those numbers, the plus minus, the turnover margin has been really incredible for the Mustangs traditionally in the last 10 to 15 years, and this year a plus in over 4 games, which has never been done in the last 12 years here at Southwest, having that good of a plus minus. And as Coach mentioned, we're not going to mention how many weeks now the Mustangs have not had a turnover, so we won't mention that at all.
Right.
But it's been a very good, very low number. It's probably the best you can have. So so that's the key for the Mustangs, and let's hope it continues this weekend against Winona State again. Kickoff is at 4:30 in the afternoon at Maxwell Field in Winona, and the Warriors at 6-2 overall, and still having a chance for the playoffs, and again the 7th-ranked team in this week's regional rankings. Then the Mustangs come home for their final 2 games, afternoon contests in November against Concordia and Augustana College. So again, the Mustangs a happy week, 38-37 victory over the Peacocks of Upper Iowa. And Coach, good luck this week at Winona State. We want to say thank you for watching this week's episode of the Cory Sauter Show here at Marshall Local Cable Access, Studio 1, and on the website smsumustangs.com. Until next week, remember, go Mustangs.